The San Francisco 49ers are back from the bye and enter Week 10 rested, recovered, and once again in the driver's seat of the division. With the Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals all dropping their Week 9 matchups, San Francisco has the edge in the four-way race for the NFC West crown. We'll talk more about the position of the 49ers in the second half of 2023 with General Manager John Lynch, as well as touch base with the newest addition for San Francisco after these post-bye week updates. We're back with a regular season installment of 49ers Live presented by Webex by Cisco. I'm your host, Lindsay Polaris. The health of the 49ers appears to be trending in the right direction, with wide receiver Deebo Samuel and linebacker Dre Greenlaw participating in the open portion of practice on Monday, and the team opening up practice windows for cornerbacks Darrell Luter Jr. and Samuel Womack III and defensive lineman Robert Beal Jr. Samuel suffered a hairline fracture to his shoulder against the Browns and caught passes for the first time since Week 6. Greenlaw is working through a shoulder injury from Week 8 and was working in with fellow linebacker Fred Warner on Monday. Another notable practice participant was newly acquired defensive lineman Chase Young. He comes to the Bay via a trade at the deadline. I caught up with Young to discuss his arrival and working in with his new team. I am here with the newest member of the 49ers defensive line, Chase Young. Welcome to the Bay Area.
Appreciate it.
Chase, with the NFL trade deadline looming, you said that you were focused on playing ball. You find out about the trade on social media. When you see the post with your name and the San Francisco 49ers attached to it, what's the first thing that runs through your mind?
Yeah, first thing that ran through my mind was, well, I guess I'm going to Cali. You know, I'm happy where I'm at, still getting acclimated, but you know, everybody's showing nothing but love here. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to get ready to go.
You talked about the winning culture of this organization in your press conference. What signs have you seen of that 48 hours into this process?
It's really just everything, like the building, the people in the building, just how they carry themselves. You can just tell they really care about everything you're doing. My teammates now, you can tell they just want to get better. You can tell they love coming into the building and just being around each other. Just the vibe, you know, it's just different. It's just different, it's contagious.
With one practice under your belt from Monday, what was the feeling you walk away with after getting to work with those new teammates?
Yeah, no, it was real cool. Just the first day getting it going, just getting acclimated to how practice goes, how fast we go, things like that. I'm just excited, you know, to put my best foot forward.
In this first half of 2023, you're averaging 50-plus snaps a game. You see that explosiveness and that quickness that you have of your game. What aspect are you most proud of in terms of your game and that you hope to add to this D-line?
Honestly, I'm just happy to be back on the field. I'm gonna bring, you know, the best of me, I feel like, to this organization. And I'm gonna leave it out on the field and in practice and in my preparation.
Your former Ohio State teammate, Nick Bosa, was so excited about you arriving. He called you within 5 minutes of hearing the news. How has his energy matched the rest of the team in terms of welcoming you to this facility?
Yeah, now everybody in the building has, you know, has been nothing but open arms. And, you know, anything I need, I can, about 20 people I can call if I need anything. You know, I know Big Trent, I know Deebo, so it's definitely a few familiar faces in there for me. And I'm just excited, man. This is a great organization. You know, always been, and I'm just happy to, you know, to be here.
You and Nick Bosa got to spend a season and change together at Ohio State, and that 2017 season combined for 12 sacks. How do you create that same production level that you saw in college, now in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, on the D-line, the D-line in general is big on working together. And I feel like with me and Nick already, we have done that before and know how to do that. So, I mean, I don't think that part would be hard at all. But yeah, man, it's a blessing for sure.
From what the rest of the team has shared with you and what you've experienced, what are your first impressions of the faithful, the fan base here?
I mean, just walking in the mall, I mean, I'm hearing Chase. So, you know, it's definitely big out here. I would say the fans and, you know, the 49ers, it's everywhere around the Bay.
You touched down here in the Bay Area during a quiet week. It was the bye. Aside from jumping into the playbook, what have you done in terms of settling in?
I just signed my lease today.
Okay, congrats.
Appreciate it. So hopefully I can get in there today. That's what I'm anticipating.
And what have you been doing here in the building just to make sure you're geared up for this second half with the Niners?
Yeah, just getting the body right. Got the lift in, a little bit of acupuncture. Just trying to stay healthy.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Chase. And I know that the faithful are looking forward to seeing you in action against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thank you.
Young is one of 2 defensive linemen acquired by the 49ers in the month of October to help set themselves up for success in the back half of the year. We'll hear now from John Lynch on the team's midseason moves. I'm joined by 49ers General Manager and President of Football Operations, a new title for Mr. John Lynch. Thanks for joining us in this Week 10 check-in.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice coming off the bye. I think everybody got to get away a little bit, recharge, refresh, reset, and we needed it because, everybody knows early in the year playing such good ball and, had 3 tough weeks. And so I think the opportunity for some rest, some reflection, and I think basically everybody looking inward, seeing where they can be better, came in an opportune time.
John, over your 7 seasons with the 49ers, you have been known to make moves at or near the trade deadline to put this team in the best position to win. In 2023, you bring in the 2020 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in Chase Young. What aspect of his game can help elevate the 49ers D-line?
He's an impressive player, and he's been playing well here of late, so he's been playing a lot here of late as well. So I think those things, and, we've always said that the D-line is really the engine that drives not just this defense, but this team. And we like our D-line, but we love adding to it as well. And, we always want more from that unit. And, I think it was somewhat of a no-brainer when Chase was there, available. We're fortunate in that, through some of the good fortune of some of our people like D'Amico Ryans and Rand Carthon, we picked up some draft choices due to the league's incentive program. So it's not that you have extra picks you just want to throw away, but when the return is a player like Chase to add to this team, we thought it was a good decision for us, and we're happy to have him.
With Chase arriving, like you said, during the bye week, and we've still got a week ahead before Jacksonville on Sunday, what's the expectation in terms of playing time for Young in Week 10?
Well, it's not as if he hasn't been playing football. He just hasn't been playing in our scheme. And Kasarik and Tapp, our coaches on the D-line, they do a tremendous job of getting guys up to speed. We saw it with Randy Gregory earlier this year when we traded for him, I think prior to Cleveland. And Randy that week played and contributed. So I think Chase, like I said, he's not just been playing, he's been playing a high volume of snaps. And so I think he ought to be raring and ready to go, and we're excited to get him out there.
Chase Young is just one piece of that D-line puzzle that includes Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead, like you mentioned, Randy Gregory. It was your goal to revamp that D-line. How would you assess the talent you've got in the building now?
Well, it's always a puzzle because, there's a couple guys who get compensated extremely well. A few of those there, they all do. But, you can only do that. So you have to be willing to turn it over each and every year. And our scouts, I give Adam Peters, RJ Gillen, and their group a lot of kudos for continuing trying to find the next fit. Guys like Samson Ebukam leave, Charles Omenihu. And so you have to replenish. And that's sometimes difficult to do in one fell swoop. And so you use all vehicles necessary to get that done because it is a priority of our team. And so this year we added 2 pieces during the season, and in Gregory and Chase Young. And I think they make us better. So at any time, we're going to try to add to that. We also, we opened the window for Robert Beal today, and Robert's a guy we're incredibly excited. Had a hamstring injury in training camp, and been a long road back, but we're happy to have his window at least open, and that gives us the opportunity to see him in practice. And I think he can provide some juice as well. So the more the merrier. I think that position is the great equalizer in today's football. So many of the rules are set up for offensive success. But when those guys, they can change the game up front. And, I think we've got a good group to do just that. And that's our expectation from that group.
Before you headed into the bye, you mentioned that the answers for this team are already in the building. When you look at the 8-week body of work that the 49ers have put together, what's your biggest takeaway as you head into the second half of the season?
I think we saw how good we can be, and hard to beat. I mean, when you saw us function on all cylinders, we're a really good football team. You also see that the nature of this league, it's you can get humbled in a hurry, and I think that happened to us. And there's reasons, but those are ultimately just excuses. And I think what we really identified and we know is that yes, it's nice to pick up a Chase Young, a Randy Gregory. But before we picked up Chase Young, we just have to play better. And I think everybody's got to look at themselves. We all got to do our jobs just a little bit better. And we'll get back to that team that was rolling along at 5-0. But I think we just got to right now focus on, what's tomorrow, what's today, and own that day. And when we do that, we'll get back to playing the way we're capable of playing.
Is there a game over the course of the first 8 weeks of the season that you point to that was the most complete showing that you'd like to get back to?
I think Dallas was certainly, that's where it all felt like it came together against a very good football team in the Cowboys. And, we put it all together there and, thought that momentum would carry. We ran into a buzzsaw in Cleveland, still had an opportunity to win it. We go off to Minnesota, ran into a real hot quarterback and we didn't break that rhythm he was in. And, would have loved to have that back. And then Cincinnati, I think that's the one where it felt like a team played with a little more intensity than us. And that's never us. So that's not acceptable. We got to get that back. And that's maybe where the bye and having an opportunity to reset and rest a little can help us.
As a former player and now a GM and president of football operations, how do you strike that balance between looking and doing that self-scouting over the bye week and then also turning the page so that the second half of the season is a fresh outlook?
Yeah, I think our job is to prepare for the now and to prepare for the future. So, I mean, it's ongoing, as our season's going on. Yes, very much involved with our roster makeup of this team, but I'm also looking at the draft for next year. You're looking at free agents for next year. So it's an ongoing deal, but our team, our organization everything's focused on this week at Jacksonville. A tough task because it's a team that's playing really good football themselves.
Several players this team is hoping to get back from the bye, including Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, just a healthier Dre Greenlaw. Where would you assess the health of this team headed into week 10?
Yeah, I think it's been, knock on wood, a remarkably healthy start to this season, especially where we've been in some years past. Some guys have battled through some things, but we're a pretty healthy team, and you hope you get Trent back. I think Deebo's tracking really well. Greenlaw, I think just having him healthy, and the greatest thing today was seeing him out on the practice field. When you have a couple weeks where you're just trying to play in the game, you miss practice. And Dre's an excellent player. I don't care how you good, that catches up at some point. So I think the opportunity for him to practice, for us to get our guys back and healthy. Remember, Christian gutted his way through some things, but I think he was compromised as well. A lot of people are compromised in this league, and I think on the whole we've been somewhat healthy. And so we've lost Aaron Banks here now, and so he was playing good ball, but that's kind of how this league goes, and other people have to step up.
You already looked ahead, week 10. Jacksonville, leaders of the AFC South. What's the thing that stands out to you?
I just think, Trent Baalke, who used to be the GM here, is doing a tremendous job down there. Ethan Waugh, as his assistant GM. Ethan was with us, been great years. So those are good football people, and they put together a really nice roster. I think Doug Peterson has really coached those guys well, and it's a good football team. I mean, it's very talented. They execute at a high level. They've got a big-time quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, and so they got a lot of things going for them. Be a tough task, but every week in this league is, and it's just an opportunity for us to go kind of get a bad taste of the last few weeks out of our mouth, that we had to sit with that over a bye week, and we understand the challenge because Jacksonville is a hot team, a very it's not just a fluke either. I mean, it's a very well put together, constructed football team. So a team we have a lot of respect for.
Everyone's back in the building on this Monday. Where's the energy and enthusiasm of the team from what you've seen in the few hours from today?
Yeah, there's a lot of juice in the building today. And this is a team that typically, has that. I will say that Cincinnati week was, you were trying to manufacture that. That's on us to bring that energy each and every day. And I did feel that today.
Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to week 10 in Jacksonville, another big challenge for the 49ers.
Thanks a lot, Lindsay.
Joining us next as our Webex by Cisco guest is former 49ers quarterback and 2020 AP NFL Comeback Player of the Year, Alex Smith. You've mentioned Brock Purdy as kind of the glue that holds this whole offense together a few times. I know you mentioned it when I interviewed you in week 3 ahead of that Giants game. This is a player that has come back from a season-ending injury, a major off-season surgery, and to have him jump back immediately and perform in the way that he has, how difficult is that? I know you can add your own perspective to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all kind of lost sight on that. And then, he's still only a second-year player.
Also that.
So it's crazy. His story is incredible. Certainly hard to even do it justice. To put that into perspective, to tear his UCL, to have a surgery, I think that only one other NFL quarterback's ever had. A lot of question marks about his recovery. And certainly a lot of people, I think, looking back at last year and like, hey, was it kind of a fluke? And to see what he's done so far this season, I don't think anybody could have imagined, right? To come back off the elbow and then to just continue to ascend his play. And his command over this offense. And I think there's a lot of misnomers about this. A lot of people out there talk about what a great system this is, and it certainly is, a great system to play quarterback in, but it demands a lot of the quarterback, right? Like this isn't something, I mean, there are multiple checks on every play. You have to, whether it be run to run, run to pass, it's an incredibly nuanced and layered offense. And also from a verbiage perspective. So from a young quarterback, it's a lot to take on from a mental standpoint, and to see what he's done going into his second year is just incredible. And then again, you throw on top, obviously, the offseason surgery, question marks certainly about your throwing arm. Incredibly happy, obviously, to see him back healthy and playing the way he is, because again, it's really unprecedented.
As someone that has undergone and come back from a major injury and surgery, what's harder to deal with, the mental aspect or the physical one?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody focuses on the physical because, again, it's this physical injury, and there's these physical, steps you have to do to get back, right? Steps along the way to get back onto the field. But there is a big mental part of this, right? Like you build up these walls, especially when it's your throwing arm. I mean, again, as a quarterback, like this is your livelihood. Like that's your moneymaker. If you can't throw the football the same way, and the margins are so small, right? I mean, if you're off this much, I mean, that's the difference most oftentimes in the NFL. And so you really have to work through that, and that's a process mentally. And it starts in the training room, and you're doing these in these very kind of clinical settings, and then all of a sudden you are out on grass, and then you're in practice scenarios, and then you got to go do it in a game. You got to remember the last time this guy played, you got hit on the elbow, and this happened. So I think you have to work through all those things, and certainly that final one being stepping out into live action and getting hit again, and knowing that you're okay and that your arm can hold up. And so it's a process. And from the outside looking in, just was really impressed that the way the entire team handled it. And when I mean that, like obviously the medical team, but the organization in general seemed to have a great plan in place with Brock coming back and allowing him to kind of work through those things. Because again, it's not easy.
Thank you so much for joining us for this post-bye week update. Up next for the 49ers is a Week 10 matchup versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Check back to 49ers.com and our YouTube channel for all your updates and content leading up to game day.